What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? Watch all the Christmas episodes of shows I love. Bob's Burgers, King of the Hill, American Dad, The Simpsons, South Park, Trailer Park Boys, Futurama, Family Guy and such. We always play Flap the Kipper, where two people use a rolled up newspaper and have to waft two paper cutouts of fish towards a finish line. When everyone's drunk it becomes really competitive. One time, probably 20 years ago, we found a styrofoam penguin at a craft store. It was covered in these tiny shiny plastic beads. We stuck it on the top of the tree and it's been there ever since. We put presents under the tree and take turns opening on Christmas. I know, really bizarre, but it's a cultural thing from the old country. This whole thread is just making me sad that my family has imploded this year due mostly to non-COVID reasons. I'm the only one who keeps in contact with everyone, while everyone else has the one family member they will not talk to, call or text for any reason. That being said, we used to do the Christmas pickle, which was a lot of fun. We had a copper pickle painted shiny green that my parents would hide in the tree Christmas morning. At a specified time, say 10 a.m., we were allowed to go look for it, and whoever found it got a pickle present. Which was usually a gift card, or whatever the top gift on Ellen or something was that year. Christmas sucks this year. Christmas is celebrated Christmas Eve. Dinner is Christmas soup, an old German, Hungarian recipe, a hunter's soup, over Spätzle. And we sing Still Enact and hug, kiss. Then open presents. Every Christmas we get a new nutcracker. This year we got a giant inflatable nutcracker, but also a normal one which counts down the days to Christmas. We also get a new piece for our tiny village we have this year. We got a country shop and some new villagers. Our cats keep knocking the pieces over though. Though most of the year I have some difficulties with my mother, these traditions are something I look forward to and I'm glad she started it. Every Christmas Eve we have raclette and fondue and watch Moonstruck. It started because we always celebrated Christmas as my grandparents' house and Moonstruck was the only good movie they owned, so my parents would watch it after my sister and I had gone to bed while they did some final wrapping and decorating. Then it just became an annual tradition, and now we all know the movie so well that we can basically quote the entire thing. Since before I was born my family has visited and caroled to the local emergency services. We also bring them homemade pies. It started as my parents showing my oldest brother that there are people away from their homes and families on Christmas to be there if we need them. Been doing it every year since. My dad puts up an aluminium pole on the 23rd and we air our grievances over a meal. After dinner we wrestle my dad in an act of strength. I have some great memories and many bad, but this is often more enjoyable than Christmas Day actually. When I was little, we always had blueberry muffins and orange juice for breakfast before opening our living room, which Santa had closed off. That way we didn't fill up on just candy for breakfast. We still do it now that everyone is older, too. Because tradition. The peppermint pig and the Christmas pickle. I like to go to the supermarket the day after Christmas and buy lots of cheap candy. This is also my favorite tradition on Halloween and Easter. This thread is so bittersweet to me. While I still have wonderful Christmases with my family, my parents decided a long time ago that Christmas decor, including trees, is not necessary. We also never really had any Christmas traditions. It was all stress all the time about money and traveling. When I finally decide to settle down and have my own family, I'm stealing some of these traditions. Waiting until the last minute to buy gifts. Slip and slide. My parents always made my sisters and I wait till around 8 to 9 in the morning to open presents, but we would always wake up before the sun was up. There wasn't phones for us to play on, nor did we have computers to use to pass the time, so we would be stuck in our rooms waiting to be allowed near the tree. To counter our boredom, we would use the hallway like a slip and slide. We would find the fuzziest of socks and PJ pants and spend the morning sliding around the tile. Pretty sure we would spend hours doing this. Unfortunately we're all too old and too big now to do it, but it will always stick with me how much fun it was, and if I could still do it every Christmas I would. Kinda weird, but our stocking stuff costs more than the actual presents cause my mom couldn't really afford big gifts, so she would get us like 2 or 3 gifts things and lots of stocking stuff. It costed more than the presents, but it was a lot more stuff for less. So me and my brother loved it. We hide a pickle in the tree, and whoever finds it first gets an extra present. Usually just an overall sense of anxiety, stress and dread starting about a week before Christmas, all throughout and up until about 5 p.m. Christmas Day. Not really fun, or interesting, but a tradition I've followed for several years now. I really don't like Christmas time. We get together at Mom's house around 5 Christmas Eve, we eat beef fondue, beef tips in hot oil, finger foods and pasta salad. It's our own weird food tradition we made up. Then we take a bunch of group photos, first the nice normal looking ones, then we bust out Mom's collection of Santa hats, we even have hats for the dogs, and take silly photos. One year someone brought a bag of cheap costume wigs. Another year someone brought crazy scarves and boas. Then we open gifts. After that we pop in a Christmas movie, I bring my collection, and play games until we just can't go anymore. Everyone stays the night. The next morning we have a lazy morning with some kind of low-effort breakfast, more Christmas movies in the background while we play games around the dining table. Then early afternoon I go over to Dad's house where I have a whole other set of siblings and in-laws. Stepmom makes a ridiculous amount of traditional American Christmas food, ham, 2 kinds of potatoes, buttered noodles, green bean casserole, corn casserole, deviled eggs, etc., 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 plus 5 different desserts. There's 9 of us. Ridiculous. I love it though. Dinner, then gifts. Hang out for a while, pack a plate or 2 of leftovers for each person to take home, help Mom squeeze the rest into her fridge, go home. A few years ago I started a new tradition at each house when it's time for presents. Instead of everyone tearing into their gifts at once and I miss your reaction to that way cool thing I was excited to get you, we now take turns opening one gift at a time. Kinda feels like stretching that Christmas magic feeling a little longer. I have a few. Every Christmas Eve we could open one gift, but the catch was that my parents got to choose which one we opened. Of course it was always the new PJ box from my aunt and uncle a few states away. Another, when my parents first got married, before they had any children, my mom bought a few ceramic teapots. My dad wanted to surprise her with one for Christmas and accidentally bought her a cookie jar instead. Years later, my dad was telling us the story of his mishap and my sister and I got a great idea. Why not buy Mom a gag cookie jar for Christmas? We have since bought her a cookie jar every Christmas since we were adolescents and we are now in our 30s. She has 20 some odd cookie jars that she doesn't want but keeps because she's such a great mom. Last one, my parents convinced my sibling and I that reindeer eat bird food since they can fly. So, every Christmas Eve night we would chuck bird seed on the roof for the reindeer to eat. My mom always made homemade cookies in various Christmas shapes and made icing of various colors. We'd all sit around the table and decorate the cookies as a family however we wanted. The first dozen or so were always super intricate and well designed. The last dozen or so were icing slopped on real quick to be done with it. But it was always fun, and we had cookies for weeks. My wife and I have advent calendar battles. Got inspired by a few YouTube channels that have done it over the years like Ashens and Nerdcubed. Each year we buy the most insane advent calendar we can find and each night we talk about who won and have our friends in the group chat vote. This year we called a truce and got 2 cheese calendars and so far we're both winning. Mushy peas on Christmas dinner. We have a Christmas gig. I play guitar, my aunt's husband plays the bass and my mom, sis and aunt sing, and my grandma usually takes a nap. Everyone gets to pick a song. In recent years we have had costumes. Also it is not Christmas music, we have played stuff like Dead Kennedys, Sode and Arctic Monkeys. It is my favorite thing about Christmas, and it sucks that BCF Corona we can't do it this year. Opening presents at midnight so we can all sleep in the morning. I live with my girlfriend in Florida, but my parents and family live in Canada. We usually fly down there to Canada every 2 years, and fly to North Dakota to see her parents every other year. So usually that's our tradition, but this year with the virus we're staying home, playing video games, watching movies and chilling.